Good evening and welcome to another edition of the McGraw Report. I'm Harry McGraw, your host, and today we have another exciting guest, and we're so happy to be back on CAN TV in 2017. It's been a while since we've been back on the air. I know they were building this beautiful studio for us, and it looks fantastic, and so we are really excited to be back on the air with you, Chicago, here to talk about all the wonderful things that's going on in the city of Chicago. And I have my very special guest here, Mr. Courtney Lane. He's one of the graduates of the T-CAR program with the Urban League that I work with. And since that time, he's been going around, the city as well as different parts of the country, Iowa, California, New Mexico, and seeing different things that's going on with his trade, getting his CDL license, and we're working with him very hard to make sure that his career is a success. But we wanted to bring him on the show because he's a Chicagoan native, went to CVS High School, Thornton Township High School, born right here in Chicago. And, I just want to get a young man's perspective on what's been going on in this town. A lot of things have changed in this town, and my generation, I think, is totally clueless as to how to deal with it. So I like to talk to the young people, get a fresh perspective, and I think Courtney is just the guy to do it. So let's give him a call, 312-738-1060. First of all, I want to say thank you so much, Courtney, for coming on the show.
No problem, man.
Courtney is a fabulous young man, family man, and he's been going all over the city as well as in Indiana and Iowa. He's got businesses, all over the place doing car sales, car repairs. He's also in the trucking business with his new CDL license, and he came straight out of high school on the entrepreneurial tip, learning construction. He's now on the list with the Operating Engineers Local 150, on the list to be an apprentice operating engineer for that. And so between the age of 18 and 26, I've seen him do a lot of fantastic stuff. And this is the kind of young black male that I personally respect. And I just wanted to get his perspective on what's been going on in the city. Now, before we get off into this, Courtney, I want to show a clip that was shown on 60 Minutes last week about our city. And we're going to talk a little bit about this clip and get some of your perspectives, okay?
Once again, Chicago is making national headlines for all the wrong reasons. New York Times readers woke up to this morning's headline: Chicago tallies grim accounts of violent year. Meanwhile, 60 Minutes is set to air a comprehensive look at crime here. CBS 2's Chelsea Irving has a preview of this further scrutiny on our city.
It was truly disturbing to see a city so on the edge.
That's a big statement from veteran CBS News correspondent Bill Whitaker, who spent a week in Chicago looking into the city's violent crime epidemic.
The shooter popped out of the car and shot.
60 Minutes' most alarming find was that in the last year, while Chicago's crime rate has gone up, police activity has gone down by 80%.
Police activity is horrific, honestly, and there's not an excuse that could be made in my book.
Former police superintendent Gary McCarthy tells 60 Minutes the problems can't be overstated.
We're reaching a state of lawlessness, right? That's what's happening.
Former Chicago police officer Brian Warner says police are holding back because of the increased scrutiny on and regulation of officers.
You have a 911 call, you go to your 911 call. But if you want aggressive patrol, when you're out looking for people breaking the law, that's not happening as much as it was.
Warner points to this October arrest, during which Officer Veronica Murillo says fear of public scrutiny kept her from pulling her gun on a violent suspect. Murillo suffered neurological damage from blows to her head.
Chicago is the third largest city in the United States. It is a major, major city. And what happens there Well, it's important.
I think a lot of viewers watching here in Chicago are going to cringe and think, here is Chicago again in a negative light across the country.
You don't just want to turn a spotlight on a problem and say, see, there's this problem. You hope that something gets done about it.
And we got this reaction today from the mayor's office, quote, because there is no single cause, there is no single solution, which is why the mayor is taking an all-of-the-above approach, including hiring 1,000 new police officers, making mentoring universal, and investing in citywide economic development. Bill Whitaker also pointed to past crime crises in Los Angeles and New York, giving Chicago examples of how cities can turn the tide, even in skyrocketing violent crime rates. In the newsroom, Chelsea Irving, CBS 2 News. Erica?
Okay, Chelsea, thank you.
Well, that was not a very flattering report at all. And you know, 60 Minutes is really all over the world.
Yes.
So listening to that report, hearing about all the things that's going on in Chicago, Courtney, just give me your honest opinion as a young man from Chicago. How does that make you feel?
At this point, I feel like the youth, we need to realize that we need to stick together at the end of the day. You know, it's a lot of bodies coming up and just negativity we get off an image of just being from Chicago. Like, I've been in different states, and sometimes I don't even like telling people I'm from Chicago. They already have like a perception on us. And what's so crazy, this is a beautiful city and state at the same time.
It's beautiful.
We got $1 billion, $1 trillion of, you know, property downtown Chicago. You know, and I just feel like if the youth have more exposure to opportunities, you know, maybe they'll have a better way, because there's no more $1 million, you know, drug dealers and people standing on the corner, and, you know, and then at this point we feel like we're our own police. You know, sad to say, but, you know, that's the image that certain states, because it's not only going on here. I see what's going on the news, any other state, you know, there's stuff going on. So it's not just us, of course.
Courtney,
Yes.
Lane is our guest on the McGraw Report. Give him a call, 312-738-1060. We have a caller on the line.
Good evening, gentlemen. One of the reasons why we having the problems that we do in Chicago, and we don't talk about it, and then you got some Republicans want to blame the president because this is hometown, and I'm talking facts. Chicago has a $3 billion drug industry. We are the distribution for the country for drugs, because we have drugs come here through the waterways, through the railways, the highway, and even through Midway and O'Hare. And when you have a $3 billion drug industry, it's going to bring other problems. And the mayor and some other people thinking that 1,000 more police officers, it's going to be nice and all that, but it's not going to be the end-all solutions. And we got to look at that. What can we do to get a handle on the problem? It has to be a multi-faction solution. And I will leave it at that.
Okay.
I like that. I like that. That was a good point, because I've been in California where they got different, you know, dispensaries and, you know, different ways to earn money off of drugs that are legal here, but, you know, legal in other states. So I agree with that, but at the same time, you know, we don't own planes and jets at the same time. So, you know, I've seen situations where they're dropping off, you know, $20,000 worth of new ammunition in these different neighborhoods, and then you got people that are 16. You know, they don't even have $20 in their pocket, but the firearm they got costs $1,500. So
that is crazy to me.
yeah,
You know,
it doesn't add up.
I see
all.
that
Yeah.
statistic more and more, where you finding these crime scenes being perpetrated with high-powered caliber weapons, and so I know that you can't just go to the store and buy these kind of guns. That's just not realistic. So where are they coming from? And I've heard that very thing, that there are crates and shipments of drugs that aren't even, not drugs, but guns being dropped off in certain communities.
Yeah, on purpose, I feel like, you know, because if they don't get, these teens don't have nothing else to do. They think that they can just YouTube something and, you know, they want to make a video and this is the way out. You know, like, where's the sense of entrepreneurship at the same time? You know, I think that's what we missing. Like, that's why I kind of stick out, because I know it's other ways that I can become a billionaire, you know, and take care of my whole family. You know, it's not, I don't gotta know a drug lord or this and that, because I know a lot of different people do different things, and the illegal stuff never lasts a long time anyway. They end up selling the stuff for cheap to me anyway. So, like cars and stuff, you know, nothing illegal, but just, you know, once they fall off, because that doesn't last, you know, stuff, they end up selling homes or cars or jewelry or, you know, whatever the case may be. But
yeah, that's a good point,
yeah.
Courtney. A lot of this stuff that they get, the material things, they get it, the fast life, quick cars, quick jewelry, and then when they get busted, they end up confiscating all of their items, all their homes, all their possessions, boats, and selling it back for cheap. So what's the point in that? I mean, it's just a waste of time, and it's an exercise in futility. Now, this is a half-hour call-in show, so I want you to call Courtney and give them your honest opinion about what's going on out there on those streets. 312-738-1360 or 1060. And I also want you to try to chime in with Twitter at the McGraw Report, or Instagram, or either Facebook at the McGraw Report, or you can email us at mcgrawreport@gmail.com. We've got another caller on the line. Caller.
Hi. Good evening. I just want to make a comment here. Like the young man said, the drugs are coming into America. We, as the black race, we don't have those jets to bring the drugs in here. They've been knowing the drugs has been coming up in here. And not only that, they know the guns are coming in here too. This is to annihilate all the black men are killing up each other, younger black generation killing each other up. They're killing each other up because this is what the white man wants them to do, to get rid of the black so they can continue to mix in the race, the Caucasian race. I know that for facts.
Well, Courtney.
What you said, young man, is so true. The drugs are coming in. They're being flown in here. We don't have the jets to bring them in here. And talking about putting the police officers, 1,000 policemen, that's nothing. That's nothing. Because the mayor of Chicago and the new president and the governor, they already know what they're going to do. So young people, I'm just advising all the young people, stay off the news media so much. You have your rights as an American citizen. You don't have to let them put you on TV. Thank you very much, and I hope everybody be blessed.
You know, Courtney, she's making a valid point. A lot of the younger generation now is very obsessed with being on TV, social media. I recall the video that just came out not too long ago, where the video of the tortured young man who was disabled, 4 African Americans treating him in a way that was almost inhumane. What did that do to your psyche when you saw that video come out?
Honestly, I just kind of shook my head, you know, in distress, because really I just thought, like, where are these children parents at? You know, I think it starts at home. You know, like, people don't think, like, fathers, and, you know, they're important, you know, because when I grew up, I couldn't do certain things. You know, I was worried about what my dad was going to do when I get home, you know.
Right, you had parents, and, you know, you were very, very
we
responsible.
We need to, like, take care of our kids and just stop going off of YouTube and just thinking, you know, they thought this, thought that, and just, you know, they thinking that, like, when I'm out with my girl and my children, like, people look at us, they, oh, man, y'all, you know, we together. Like, that shouldn't be, like, a thing where we got to take photos just because we shopping in Walmart, you know. It should be the norm, you know. It shouldn't be just a big deal, and that's how they looking at it now. I see so many single mothers, and it's a shame, you know, on the bus, and just, you know, what type of man are you to have your children on the bus in the snow?
Right.
You know,
take some responsibility for creating a life.
We need to stand up for our own people. Because, like you said, the video, that was stupidity at its finest, you know. And now you got people from different states thinking, oh, that's what they doing in Chicago.
Right, and even people in Cook County Jail is looking at it like we looking at it. So when they get busted, what happens?
Oh, we really need to go in there and see, because I know they having a fun time right now. You know, they probably got to sit in their own corner, you know, because they know what you do before you go in the county.
They know all about it.
Yeah, and they like, that's so stupid to do that and film it, you know. Even to participate in that, that was just pointless. Y'all didn't get paid for that. Y'all didn't, nothing was lucrative about the situation.
Now, Chicago, I want you to chime in and talk to Courtney because, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, the younger generation is, you know, obsessed with YouTube, obsessed with Facebook, obsessed with Twitter. They all on Instagram. They don't talk to you. Now, this is your chance. This gentleman has come on the show and given up his time freely to talk to you, Chicago. And really, you know, if you want to hear what's going on with a young black African-American in the city of Chicago right now, you got one right here, willing to talk to you and tell you the real deal, what's going on in Chicago. Give him a call, 312-738-1060. Now, I want to go back to one thing that they said in that report. They said that the crime rate was up, but the police activity is down. Now, how can you possibly expect people to respect the police when crime is being committed like right by the police station? I mean, really, how can you get the respect?
Yeah, honestly, like you mentioned earlier, you said that they were gonna, you know, add 1,000 more police and, you know, different facilities. That might create more construction jobs, you know, maybe some different opportunities for people in unions, you know, but I've seen things happen right behind a police station before. Then you got different, it's weird. We on TV, but it's different situations I've seen. Like, you know, police officers definitely do illegal things too. You know, don't think, you know. And then the perception that they have on us now is like we're our own police. We're not looking at the police as protection at all.
Right.
And
so
that's bad.
They go into work every day. They listen to the 911 call. And they do the bare minimum. They cruise past. They might stop and say something, then they keep going. They don't police the area.
They sleep in their cars. You know, we catch them sleep. You know, a lot of different things going on. You know, we catch them doing illegal stuff too.
Wow. Courtney Lane is our guest on the McGraw Report. We're talking about the climate in 2017, police activity. Give us a call, 312-738-1060. We want to hear from you, and we want to talk to you about how you feel 2017 is coming about. We got another caller? Caller, go ahead.
Good evening, gentlemen. I see one trend is starting, and I hope it keep on picking up some media. It seems like the print media is start coming back because people want to get the real news. They don't want to get no fake news. And when you look at the newspaper a lot of times, they can go into much more in-depth in terms of investigating reporting. Even though they have those videos you can look at and all that, but a lot of people that want the real news, the news that have been backed up and been checked, they are really looking at the print media right now. And in some ways, they're trying to see how the print media can make that leap in terms of electronic. Because all the people that want the real news.
Ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. They have fake news out here now. I mean,
yes.
You go online and see a report that somebody posted and kind of doctored up, and it's almost just like the real news. And you know, it goes back to journalistic integrity. And so how do you prevent the information from being diluted when you have that?
Well, when you go to like the New York Times or you go to the LA Times, something like that, or the Washington Post, you know those things are reputable the majority of the time. And if they do mess up, they will come back and make a retraction.
Yeah.
That's how you can really tell legitimate reporting. Now, I miss the days of somebody like a Walter Cronkite when he went on TV. Everything was double-checked, triple-checked, and the guy had at least 4 or 5 sources.
Exactly.
And it you know, these days they want to put it on first, and that's all they care about. Every time they have a news truck out there, that news truck is costing the station at least $25,000 an hour. So they can't.
Well, I understand what you're saying, caller, and believe me, there is an effort to get more journalistic integrity, especially now that we have all of this fake news on the media. I know we only have a few minutes left, so I want to let Courtney kind of wrap up the show. Thank you so much, caller, for calling in. And if you didn't get a chance to call, you can go to one of these media outlets, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, or you could just send me a question or comment at McGrawReport@gmail.com, and we'll try to get back to you with your responses. So, Courtney, just, talk to the people about what we need to do in 2017, because, the Black Lives Matter movement went pretty strong in 2016. We have a lot of people very concerned about this body count. What is the real crust of it? I know it's not just one thing, but give me your perspective.
I think it's us too. It's the people. We need to stick together at the end of the day, because if we don't, the higher powers are not gonna respect us at all. They think people are not smart enough to come on shows like this and such things. This is not nothing, but it's like this city has so much money, and then they play like they don't have a lot of money. It's people out here that need jobs. Maybe they need to spread more opportunities. Like the caller said, they paying $25,000 just for a newscast just to show up. But then you got people snatching iPhones on the train. When it's like it's not. We need balance at the end of the day. We need to stick together, stop being against each other, and just get money. 2017 and entrepreneurship is at an all-time high. We can do investment property. It's different things we can branch off to and do, to where we don't even gotta work, Don't think it's just Walmart and check to check. It's definitely different ways, because my plan, by the time I'm 35, I don't even want to work for nobody. I want to work for myself.
And that's the kind of attitude and spirit that we're looking for out of our young people, to have a sense of wealth, have a retirement plan for yourself, know that you can make it. It's not hopeless out here. It's not as desolate as they try to make it seem. There's a lot of good people out here, and Courtney's one of them. We want to thank you, Chicago, for tuning in to the McGraw Report. I really appreciate being back on the air. It's really a nice studio. The time went by so fast. I was really shocked when I saw my 5-minute sign come up there. So we're going to have to come back on and do it again, Courtney. I want to have you on the show again.
Problem.
You don't mind?
No, sir.
Great. Well, I want to thank you again, Chicago, for checking us out this season. Tune in next Monday at 6:30, where we'll have another exciting guest on our show. This is Courtney Lane. I'm Harry McGraw, and we'll see you again next week on the McGraw Report. Take care.